All right, brothers and sisters, 773-591-1690. You could jump on the line and talk to us tonight. Of course, we are looking for you to support our program, Straight Words. Heading into our second year in May, we're going for a third round. But as you heard our big brother Naba'a Richard Muhammad say, we are committed to a third year, but we do need your help. So go to straightwords.com right now and make a donation. Make a donation. All the digital opportunities on our website, whatever you use for your digital wallet, you can pay and, support us. Make a donation is what I'm saying. So you can also make a pledge and talk to Brother Naba'a. Text line is wide open right now. You can hear him right now at 312-480-9775. That's 312-480-9775. We're talking about Brother Naba'a Richard Muhammad. He is the editor-in-chief of the Final Call newspaper. And, of course, his big brother is Brother James G. Muhammad, contributing editor of the Final Call newspaper. I'm Brother BJ, and we're here on Straight Words tonight. And before we go into our guests, our longtime faithful listener, Brother Cliff, is on the line. We want to make sure we get you in, brother, before we go to our next segment. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Cliff. What you got to say tonight?
Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate that. Much respect.
Salam.
And listen, if you can allow me to do this, I don't care what people say about me personally. I can take it. I can handle it. But as I mentioned before, I get really offended when people speak about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. White people, and even more so, I get offended and get hurt by when black people talk about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So I want to do this on the radio station, and brothers, if you allow me to say this, and if not, then I completely understand. But the brother mentioned, because I speak about racism and how black folks cannot be racist. We don't have the power or the authority, and we never have oppressed any ethnic group in this country. However, white people will say that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is racist only because he speaks the truth, and he's the only one on a national level that speaks truth about these white devils and the way they treat black people. And so when black folks call the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan a racist, brother, out of love, I want them to give the opportunity to express that and the reason why. So I'll mention the name. There's a caller, Joe Citizen, and I say this out of love, but I just wanted him to, at some point, whether it's this show, if you allow it, or some other show, to express the reason why he would call Minister Farrakhan as a black man, and him being a black man, a racist. So I put that challenge out there, brothers. So thank you so much for taking my call. I appreciate it. Assalamu alaikum, bro.
Wa alaikum salam, sir. Thank you, Brother Cliff.
Yes, sir. All right. So let's go to our next segment there, brother. We have a special guest on the line, Brother James G.
Okay. Yes, sir. Well, first of all, you had mentioned about the commitment to the 3 years. Well, I want to express and reiterate, we need the support of everybody out there on the line, no matter how large or how small. Brother Nava put a lot of sweat, blood, and tears into making this thing go for 2 years, and a lot of sacrifice. All of us have sacrificed. Right. So anything that can be done would be very helpful. And I mentioned that because this is the month of Ramadan. And in the month of Ramadan, we put, not that we don't try to do it every day of every year, but in the month of Ramadan, we put special focus on sacrifice. We fast, we pray, and we do other things that are associated with a Ramadan season. And one thing is helping our brothers and our sisters who are in need and helping them maybe even a little more than we would normally do because we're focused on that as we're fasting. And so we want to welcome to the airways and give a big shout out to our sister Sudan Muhammad. I believe it's the last name, Sudan Muhammad. She's a beautiful MGT in the Washington, D.C. area, Muhammad Mosque number 4. Sister Sudan, are you there?
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Ramadan Mubarak to you. How you doing?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, well, Sister Sudan, I don't want to butcher your background or try to give you an introduction that won't do you do you service right. But can you just give us a little background about yourself and a little bit about what you're doing that we're going to be discussing on the show today in terms of your outreach?
Okay. First, I want to say in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I am so humble and honored to be on this show. I just have to get that out. Thank you so much.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I want to say I was blessed. I was so blessed to be born in the Nation of Islam. My grandfather and grandmother joined, and my grandfather and my grandparents joined 1956 or 57. I'm not sure. So I grew up seeing the beauty of the nation in the stores. I was a student of MUI under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad at the time. So me seeing of the Nation of Islam in the community, it helped to propel me in the future to do what I'm doing. So I came back and on my own, I joined. Actually, my husband and I, we came back after the Million Man March.
Okay.
And we joined on our own. After we rejoined on our own, we were blessed to leave Philadelphia. We're from Philly, top of the clock.
Yeah.
And, we came to Washington, D.C. We moved out here. And I believe we started at Muhammad's Mosque at the time, before it was 94, it was a study group under Brother Sean, who passed. May Allah be pleased.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. It started in 1998. Brother Sean Muhammad, some of the believers would kind of get together, and we had like a co-op where we would get food. We would buy in bulk. And I just remember with so much food for my family. We started in our community. We were living in Rivertown. And my husband and I started asking our neighbors, do you need orange juice? Do you need grape juice? Do you need extra eggs? And some of them would say, I don't have the money for it. And we would say, well, we didn't ask you to buy it. We're giving it to you. That would start from giving out produce and juice. I was able to kind of get in to people's homes, and then they would start opening up. When people trust you, they tell you things. So then I started finding out, wow, it was a real need in our community. And that would start from the food. So I just that's how we started.
Okay. So then basically, just to bring the audience back up to speed, you have a food kind of giveaway program in the community. Is that what it is, right?
Yes. We we started giving out food, and then once we found out, by trade, I'm a licensed cosmetologist. Okay. And so by trade, I found out another opening. A lot of the girls in our community, because we lived in an apartment complex, it was a lot of prostitution in the complex. So there was a need for a life skill change. So what me and my daughter started was, we found out that some of the girls in our community, what they were doing. So we went to the library and asked if we can use a room, one of the rooms, and we offered our services, and we started teaching some of the women and girls in our community how to do hair free of charge.
Wow.
So we started teaching some of the young girls life skills, how to do hair. Then my daughter, my daughter Indigo, was blessed to be a part of Tie High with Mother Tanetta. My daughter's also a harpist. They volunteered their services for 3 years in Children's Hospital. We were under harp therapy in the ER. So we started volunteering our services, teaching and bringing a harp to the library, teaching free of charge the people in our community how to play the harp, how to play the piano first, then the harp. And I'm going to share this with you. It was so many people who signed up that we had to teach in 15-minute intervals, and it reminded me of what Brother Jabril said, that one day in the future will be so many people coming into Islam that you have to fit in the intervals. That's what that reminded me of.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So being into cosmetology, that brings you in touch with a lot of different sisters, especially. And it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, you know, you had that outreach, you had that connection, and you started hearing about the needs of the people. You started giving away things for free, but then you started teaching music as well. So you must be a musician of sorts, or at least have knowledge if you were teaching people how to play the piano. And then it grew into I want to, you know, is it that now you have a bigger food dispensation type of operation? Is that a major part of what your outreach is, the food? And is that how you really expanded it?
Okay, well, so let me share. The music I had sent my daughter to school, I paid for her. She played the piano and the harp. She was able to teach my daughters. But as far as the food is concerned, I started networking because I was always in the community serving. Mm-hmm. My husband and I used to go out. I'm not sure. I think it was Southeast D.C., Southwest, also Northwest. We would go out, and we would find that it was a lot of women with children that were homeless and in these encampments. I mean, it was terrible. They were sleeping in rat-infested encampments. So collectively, we would find out. We would ask them what did they need. I mean, I wish that I was able to afford housing, but of course, I can't do that. But we could come together and buy you a tent. And oddly, some of the women would call me because they had my number, and they would call me. It was one lady we called her Mom. She was 86 years old. She used to sleep. She was homeless, and she slept in this encampment. And one morning, I remember it was like 3 a.m., and she called me crying and saying, I woke up, Sudan, and it was a big rat on my chest. And she said, I was out of there screaming. And so I said, Mom, I'm sorry. Like, what can I do? She said, I can't sleep in their sleeping bag because, when the rats run, they urinate. So I said, okay, the next day I let some of the people know that in our group, because it's a group of us, a group of mothers and women, I need tents. Can we come together and get tents? Well, how many do you need? I need 10 tents. I need sleeping bags. So we would come together. We would put our money together. Somebody would buy it, and I would distribute them. And that's a part of it.
Wow. Along with you said there's other women. Is it a formal organization that you have? Is it a name of an organization that you all have started? Okay,
under Sudan Services of Love, which I network with other women from different churches. Like I want to share this. My husband's friend brother passed, and he very expensive taste, so he had a lot of shoes that his wife told my husband she can come and get these shoes. It was maybe about 100 to 150 pair of high-end shoes, okay? So I networked with one of the sisters after my husband took what he wanted. And I asked her, I said, well, I have a lot of shoes and I have men's clothes. So she said, bring it to the church. I did. To my surprise, this church has a room set up and looks like a boutique. Mm-hmm. So when people come to the church, they dress them. The room was beautiful. I was amazed at what some of these people in the churches are doing, and I just have to say this beautiful networking of Muslims and Christians that we, and again, it's mainly women, and I don't want to jump around. We also go into the safe houses as well. So it's just a beautiful networking of women that's coming together. And we share ideas. If I need things or they need things, because I get so much. I get things from it's a warehouse in Maryland, and they distribute to restaurants. So I can come there, and I get so much stuff. It's a blessing. I have to say all praise is due to Allah. I get so many things that I'm able to share.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But B-Day, did you have something? I don't want to cut you off.
We got Brother Naba'a back in the show. Okay. Brother Naba'a, you there?
Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak. I am here, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, Sister Sudan. The I don't know if you talked about this before, but of course I came into the mosque in Muhammad Mosque No. 4 in Washington, D.C. And even though we did a flyer about serving people in the shadows of the U.S. Capitol, which is literally what is going on, but it's really not in the shadows because these people that are suffering, that have nowhere to go, unless something's changed, you see them every day, and they're right down around Union Station, many of them, and they're not far from the Capitol because you can walk to the Capitol from Union Station. So, is that still the situation down there, or have they pushed people out of that area?
So let me share what's happening now, and I want to go back to COVID because there's a lot of, oh my God, when COVID hit, they was trying to clean up the areas in D.C. because, it's a lot of Caucasians moved into that area. They took a crane. They told the homeless people that they had to leave, so they did put flyers up. And some of the homeless people who didn't move, it did make the news. Some of them, when they lifted their tent, some of the men were still in the tent when they used a crane to move these people. Then during COVID, I remember, and I'm telling you, I was there. So I'm not saying anything that I read or heard. I was there, boots on the ground. Pfizer trucks were lined up. It was a homeless encampment not that far from Howard University. So Pfizer trucks were there, and they offered the people. They gave them pizza, and they bottled water, and they said, if you get vaccinated, we'll put you in a hotel for about 2 weeks until you get your second shot. Then they promised them that they would get them a place to stay. I have to share this with you. So many people passed.
Oh, no.
After that. So many people passed where I had lost a lot of them that I knew. I know I had to get audited about it because so many had passed where some of the homeless people said, I'd rather move to another encampment or find another place. I'm not going into the hotel. I'd rather be out here because they're dying. What's in that vaccine? I'm telling you what I know. These people, because they know I'm in the nation, they said, sisters, they call me Mom. Mom, can you tell Minister Farrakhan what they're doing to us? They tell me this all the time. Can you let him know what they're doing? Then, and I'm saying this, some of the women that's out there, they tell me about how, and I have to be careful because I don't want to say anything that I don't want to cause any harm to the show or anything like that. But
Sister Sudan, say what you want to say. We pay for this. Ain't nobody giving us nothing. So that microphone that you on, that's paid for, and you express yourself however you feel like it. You free with us.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, I'm going to share this. So in Southeast D.C., and you are familiar with Southeast, they are, I was told by some of the brothers and sisters out there, when I bring food, I know them by name. We're such and such. I brought this out. These brothers who are drug dealers in that area are using some of the homeless people to do movies. You know what I'm saying? They're using them to make movies. Instead of, they have a need, they want the drugs, and they're using them to make movies.
Yeah.
These movies that's being promoted.
Yeah.
And so now, this is really sad because some of the women out there, I mean, this is what's going on out here. Of them, it's like, I can't believe I did that. And so now some of them are just, I got to get hired because I can't believe I did it. And this movie is out there.
Wow.
I mean, this is what's happening. Animals. Like, why would you do that to somebody in that condition that they in? I have showed videos of some of the women. I've talked to them after they've gotten beaten up. Matter of fact, sisters are being hurt so bad. I was on, I forgot, Liberated Sister show, and I was sharing with her how I had to bring a martial artist out there to teach the women who live in the encampments how to defend themselves. I had to pay somebody to come out there and train the women because I don't have a place for them to stay, and they on the street. And they're sitting at night. This is what's happening to me at night. I'd rather deal with the rats. One of our brothers was bitten to death by rats. That's how he died.
Oh, Jesus.
Sister Sudan.
Yes,
Assalamualaikum. This is Brother BJ. I just, sister, you're a warrior sister because you are out there in them streets. You in the trenches. What's your team look like? How many people on your team that run with you in the streets?
Oh my goodness. Oof. I would say it's a lot, and I want to be honest because some of the sisters that are homeless, they're the ones that they help me. Then I have some of the people from church that we go out. It's my husband, my son. He's always there. You know, some people don't want to deal with that part because they like I can't hear those stories, or I wanted to serve, but I don't want to hear it. But it's a lot of us.
Yeah.
Mainly when I'm preparing the food is prepared for my home, and I don't allow anybody to prepare any food because my name is on that. You could donate drinks and stuff, or they help me, but I prepare the food from my kitchen. I wash the clothes because sometimes people give me clothes and it smells bad. And I said, don't do that. Because the first thing these people do when you give them something is smell it.
Yeah.
So I don't give anybody anything I wouldn't wear, and I don't feed anyone anything that I wouldn't eat myself.
So Sister Sudan, you telling me that you take the clothes from the brothers and sisters that are homeless on the street, you take them back to your house and you wash them?
I washed so much clothes. One time my husband was upset because I broke my washing machine. But one of the ladies on our team gave me another one. My husband gets upset with me sometimes. You bring something up. But I have to. I'll go to the laundromat sometimes. In the wintertime, I get a lot of crooks. So the lady in the laundromat, she's part of the team. She'll wash the clothes for me. I'll just leave them there. All the clothes for me. Matter of fact, I was running around so much in my van that I had I went through like 2 vans. But one of the sisters from the church, whose husband owns a car dealership, she said, "Are you going to? I have some things for you." And I said, "Well, my engine blew, so I don't have a vehicle." She said, "No, this is your ministry. You have to keep going." She gave me a van. She gave me a van.
Yeah. Is this a 501c3 or whatever? Is it a not-for-profit organization that you can get donations?
Actually, I'm gonna be honest. With grassroots, I was the sister we was working on the 501c3. Unfortunately, her husband had got vaccinated. He dropped dead. She was devastated. She didn't go on with.
Okay.
I didn't want to bother her about that, but she was working on that part for me. And she just really she lost it.
Yes, ma'am. Understood. So are they nominating you for sainthood?
Go ahead.
No, she sounds like she's a good candidate for sainthood. The work that she's doing, man.
Oh, yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
And Sister Sudan, you're doing all this for free, and people who are listening to you. Because of this, you're willing to make a sacrifice that most people are not willing to do. And I think the thing about what you have done. You've laid out a plan and an example that anybody that wants to help, you can start with yourself. You don't need a whole bunch of people to check, say, okay, yeah, you can do this. No, you went out there and, like the minister said, nobody can stop you from doing good. And you just took it upon yourself. And was this the ministry? If you look at the 9 ministries of the Nation of Islam, you are executing the health and human services portion of serving our people with joy. And you tell me how you feel by helping the minister doing this, sister, because you are helping the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan with his people.
Well, I have to say this because I heard the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say first he couldn't leave until Christ was formed in the people. Then I heard him say that he's supposed to serve the sick and shut in. And I have to say this: classism exists. Okay, so it's a classism. So because I know that exists, I have a passion. I have a passion for people who don't feel good about themselves, who are unseen, who don't have the money, because I know what I suffered. So I feel good when my daughters can go into a hospital and play the harp for somebody who's about to have surgery. When rich folks at GW, they wanted to hire my daughter because she played the harp in the hospital for someone. They wanted to hire her, and they wanted to offer her that the pay would be $80,000 a year just for 20 hours a week. And I want to play for black people. I want to go into schools. I want black people who don't feel good. These little children, these little black girls at school would touch the harp. Oh, my God, it's so beautiful. And I would say this is our instrument. It makes me feel so good. And I just have to say, I thank Allah for blessing me to go through homelessness when I was in Philadelphia. I know what it's like to be hungry. I know what it's like when people treat you like dirt. I know what happens to black women in the street to be set up and kidnapped. I went through all that. I know what a trap house is. I know what they do to women in the street. I know when people don't believe you and they blame you and they don't hear you and they say, what did you do? I understand. I have walked through that and I didn't understand why Allah took me through that. I was so angry that I went through that. I was mad. And then I became bitter. But then I channeled the anger into a passion where I tell some of the women when they say, oh, I was touched. My daddy's touching me. My uncle's touching me. That's why I'm out here. And I say, I believe you. I believe you. So my bitterness, at one point I was bitter. It was channeled, and I'm doing something with it. And I say that this is a labor of love.
Yeah, go ahead.
What caused the change?
People. I love to see people eat. I love it.
When did you notice that change, Sister Sudan, in terms of when you said you learned how to channel it? How did that come about?
Well, a brother helped me because I was so mad and I was so bitter. Oh, my God. I was saying, why did this happen to me? I was just going off. And he said, well, sister, maybe a lie is using you so that you can help somebody else. He said, because of what you went through with. And the way he talked to me, I said, that brother, now I think about it, I think he was an angel. I think he was an angel. And the way he talked to me, he really helped me. So now when I go in the safe houses and I hear the stories from the women, and I hear they're so nervous. And I took my daughter with me one time, and the women were sharing their stories. And they were still crying, and they were so emotional. And then I was able to share what I overcame and how God walked me through it. And there is hope. And they couldn't believe that I had a story similar to them. And I was saying it was strength, and it was a story now. It was a story. It happened. All praises due to Allah. But you can overcome anything. So channel that into something positive. So that's what I'm doing. Wow.
So, Sister Sudan, you came back from the Million Man March, and you operating off the atone, off that atonement spirit. Talk about what that means to you in as a MGT, y'all. This is one of our MGT in the Nation of Islam. These are one of the sisters that you see in the beautiful white garments, and she's a warrior out on the streets in Washington D.C. Mosque No. 4. Where the Million Man March was held in that city. Talk about what that spirit, how it empowers you to do what you do.
Brother, when I watched the Million Man March, I said, oh, my God, I'm going back. And I actually was doing someone's hair while we was watching it because I wanted to go. I said, I'm going. And a friend of mine from Philly said, no, I'm going to represent you. I said, okay. He said, no, stay home. He wasn't even in the nation, but he said he was a Christian. He said, I'm going, I'm going to represent you. I watched that march, and I said, I'm going back in the march. And that inspired me. It was so beautiful. It just woke something up in me. So me being inspired by that, I had to work. I said, oh, Allah, what can I do? And, and I have to say, some of us fight over posts. I want to be a squad leader. I want to be lieutenant. I want to be a captain. No, I want to be a foot soldier. I don't care if I'm the least in there. I just want to be in the number. I don't care. You don't have to see me. I just want to be in that number. So because I'm in that number and I found what I'm inspired to do, I am so grateful. I mean, it's an honor to be in this nation.
Yeah. Good.
And I'm going to say this. I thank Allah for Brother Kadir and his wife, Sister Felicia. Sister Felicia she'll make food for me. Sister, you going out? Yes, ma'am. Well, I'm going to make some food. Come and pick it up. She'll help me. And I have to say this about Sister Felicia and Brother Kadir. Now, because I'm a hairstylist, part of my community service is, some of the women who feel bad. Women like to they want to look pretty. So I bring them to the shop and I do their hair. So Sister Felicia came to the shop. She said, Sister, this shop you have is nice, but it's plain. Let me decorate it for you. So she's going to decorate the shop and make it look prettier for the women when they come in. So I just had to say that.
Beautiful. We got Sister Sudan Muhammad. She's from Mosque No. 4, Washington, D.C., and she is a foot soldier. Sudan Services of Love. She works with the homeless population in Washington, D.C., and we are so thankful that she is doing what she's doing. And you inspiring somebody out there, sister, that's listening. Tell them how they could get started. If somebody's listening and say, what, that sister, she doing it. I want to do the same thing. What do we start?
First, love. You have to love. If you love what you're doing, and I asked Allah, what am I here for? What can I do? And I was inspired to go and do this. That's the first start, to love. You can go in your kitchen and start out finding out what's needed in your community. That's what we did with our neighbors. Study God. Self-improvement, the basis for community development. He says start first in your house and then in your neighborhood. That's the instruction. So that's what we did in our home first, then knocking on the doors, finding out what our neighbors need, and it grew into something bigger. So that's the start. In your house first, and then in the neighborhood. Beloved, it has grown so much where this woman saw a Facebook post I put up, and she introduced me to a lady who has pizzazz jewelry. Women love jewelry. Women love jewelry. This woman brought me into her home. She had a whole garage filled with beautiful jewelry and told me to take whatever I wanted. I took trash bags out, went out to a shelter, and laid it out to some of the women in the shelter. and told them each woman take 5 pieces, and they couldn't believe it. And I just have to say that some of our people are so in awe and so like they can't believe that you're giving them something. You're like, are you sure? Oh my God, for me?
Yeah.
They cannot believe it. Are you sure you're giving this to me? It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, man.
No.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
was about to say, brother James, we got our sister Lorraine on the line. She want to talk to our sister. Sister Lorraine, assalamu alaikum. You're on with Sister Sudan.
Yes, assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, I'd like to give everyone the greetings of assalamu alaikum to the Mighty Straight Word and all the WVON. I'm excited, and as I'm looking over every Tuesday, thank you for the Naba'a for sending me all the everything, Brother Richard. I just want to say Ramadan Mubarak to everyone. And Sister Sudan is a very good friend of mine and a sister. And she's a motivator. I have a nonprofit called the Ministry of Love and Our Time. And I'm going through my struggles at one time getting out there for the people. And those who was among me wasn't helping. And I needed a lot of help because I was doing it on my own with my own money and doing the same thing. And sometimes really wanted to give up. And she would call me, Sister Lorraine, we can't do that. You say you want to go after the people. That's what you're doing. So now I'm with the community. I have a nonprofit. I feed at the masjid. We go into the shelters. I brought Brother Naba'a down with my as a motivational speaker. The city of Wilmington, Delaware, they get a proclamation. They love him. And I want to thank you, Sister Suzanne, for being strong and motivating me, because there was many times I'm single. I don't have no one to I was like, oh my, I want to do this. And it was always, no ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am. You got to get permission. And, so I had to get help outside of the community. But what really literally put tears in my eyes is when she was out in the pandemic. And then I watched the part where her daughter plays the harp. And I had literally tears. This is a motivator, a soul for Muhammad. Because I would be nowhere. The sister love we have, she's not selfish. I started out with maybe 30 people helping me all over the community, giving out my own pocket until I started a nonprofit. The city of Wilmington seen what I was doing. I worked for the city, so I was doing a lot of things, but I was doing it after work. So I needed support from other people. And they were, no, ma'am, we didn't get permission, no, ma'am, I have no security, but the street secured me. And Sister Sudan would call me and say, Lorraine, Allah got you.
That's right.
And I took my nonprofit all the way to Ghana. The same things that I did and wanted to do, I took it overseas. And I thank you, Sister Suzanne. I will go where I'm at the masjid out there, Accra, Pennsylvania, all those little places, and feeding the children overseas with the love. And one thing I can say about her food is cooked and it's delicious. And I want to get a couple of plates, but I ain't gonna say nothing. But off that plane in Ghana, and she seen the vision that I couldn't see, because sometimes when you don't get the backup or you don't get the support, it's kind of hard. It's kind of
that's right.
When you're trying to get the support and you're a sister and you're single and you're trying to do it. I had the love in my heart, and when the city of Wilmington seen what I was doing, Brother Richard, he didn't care what they were saying. He came to my city and supported me.
Wow. Go ahead.
So since he had opened up the door for me, I was able to write the embassy, let them know what I wanted to do. And the children love. I've been going back since 2011. I went back during the pandemic to feed the children. I just want to say thank you, Sister Suzanne, for being a strong sister. Because many a times, I'm going to be honest, I wanted to give up. But every time I seen your post, you was feeding somebody or down with the homeless. I just said, you can do it. You can do it. So Yes, she's a fine example what a real MGT looks like. And I just want to give her a shout out and give everybody, I love the station, WVON. I love the Believe that I look forward every Tuesday to listen in. I send my donations. If anybody's out there, send them their donations. Come on the radio. Because this is what it looks like.
That's right.
That's right. Go ahead, sister.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Sister Lorraine. Thank you so much, sister.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I speak family.
Yes, ma'am.
Salam.
Can I share something, please?
Go ahead.
I wanted to share this, and I'm glad she said that. Well, now we live in Maryland, and I have to say something about Sister Rona, Sister Hazel, Sister Twine, Sister April. There was a young lady who lived in our neighborhood, and somebody raped this girl, and they set her on fire, and they and so me and Sister Rona, I told her about it, and I said I couldn't imagine my child knowing that my child passed like that. I mean, she was murdered. It was horrible. So we decided to have a fashion show for the women, and we fed them, we served them. We did that. Then we started teaching classes on how to cook, our lifestyle, how to make bean soup, how to make a nutritious meal. A lot of these girls didn't even know what zucchini was. They didn't even know how to make string beans. We were teaching them not to condemn them, not to put it down, but to make learning fun. And that's what I love about the women that I work with. It's not about, why are you dressed like that? We didn't do that. We had young sisters who was not MGT or Muslim, who may have been Christian, wearing our clothes because they wanted to model. They put a hairpiece on. They put an MGT garment on. They were not in the ranks, but they felt good to be a part of something. Our people want to be a part of something and to make them feel good. That's why we can bring out toiletry bags and give them gifts and do their hair, because I want you to feel good. And I have to say this part about doing hair. So I was a manager in Philadelphia at a hair salon called High Cut. So my father, who was an FOY, my father would ride around his car. He would always have clothes. He would just give people stuff, give them Black History sheets. And my father always said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was his dad. He always said that. And my father was the one, when they took his leg, he lost his leg back in 1965. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad raised up money all over the nation and bought him an artificial leg, sent him almost $800 at that time.
Oh, crazy. So
my father had a love for the messenger, and he was always trying to help someone. Well, anyway, to make a long story short, when the women would graduate out of the rehab, he would ask me to do their hair and bring them to the shop, because I worked at a beautiful high-end hair salon. And I told my father one time, I'm not doing anybody hair for free. And he said, well, how much is that hairstyle? And at the time, I said it was $75, $85. He said, I can give you that, but that's all you're going to get. He said, but when you do good, it reverberates into the future, and your children will benefit from it. I didn't know that. So I started doing hair then, and I noticed how the women felt. I'd rather see somebody feel good. That's money for me. I don't even care about that, because Allah always provides for me. But to see people feel good when they eat a good meal, and they said the beans made me come alive, and I cook for them like grandma. I put onions and scallions and peppers in their food, and they say they call me mom. And they love me, and they confide, and they tell me certain things, and that is a good feeling. And I could just say this in all humility, from this kitchen here in my home, this little 4-range stove I have, by Allah's divine grace and unmatched mercy, I know over 100,000 meals came from that kitchen. Because you don't need a lot of money. If you have the desire, you don't need it.
Right.
Go ahead, sis. Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that.
Yes, ma'am.
Sister Sudan, I wanted to you got one of your fans and one of your comrades that wanted me to let you know she was listening and supporting you. But apparently she didn't conference 100 people into her phone so they could hear the show. So she can't call. That's Sister Tawan out of D.C. She sends you her love, sister, and she says that she's talking about you. She says, Sister Sudan feeds God's people good food. Please give her the greetings from me. May Allah continue to bless her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sister Sudan, when did you move from Philly?
Pardon me?
When did you move from Philly?
We, in 1998, we moved out of Philadelphia.
Okay.
And me and my husband got on the road and said, wherever we stop, we're going to live. And we happened to come this way. We just wanted a fresh new start.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if you knew my son Omar up in that mosque up there.
Oh, your son Omar in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Oh,
but that's on another subject. Just curious. But go ahead, Brother Naba.
Well, I was going to say, Sister Sudan, we are taught that blessed is the man or woman in life who finds their purpose and fulfills it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, brothers and sisters, many times we talk about different things. For inshallah, in the next hour, we'll chop up some of the news of the day. But I want you to know, when a sister comes on like this, or even though she's in D.C., when we bring on Brother Enoch from Chicago, and inshallah, we're going to bring on more people. This is your opportunity to get involved. Right. Not talk about it. Again, not talk about it. Not critique it. But get involved in that which you say is important in the lives of our children. So if you hear somebody, if you're talking about the young people and what to do with them, we bring Brother Enoch on for you to hear that, what he's doing. Maybe you would want to help him. Yeah. We bring on Pastor Victoria Brady of the ABJ Civic Arts Center in Chicago, our sister that works with young people and does the thing with music, song, dance. They got a production coming up. Inshallah, we'll get sister on it. You got people like Sister Margaret Mahdi, a great theatrical director and talent of the Mahdi Theater Company. Those are Chicago. Now you're hearing about Sister Sudan in D.C. So you don't have to ask what must be done. You don't have to sit down. You don't have to lie down. You just need to get up and go to work. So inshallah, we will continue to bring people to give you the opportunity to connect. Sister Sudan, we're about to let you go. Give us the name of your group again and tell us how we can support you.
Okay, it's Sudan Services of Love. I'm on social media, all social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X. And if they wanted to donate, they can donate something through my Cash App, which is # Sudan Muhammad, or through PayPal. But that's it. Oh, I just want to say one thing before y'all let me go. I want to thank Allah for Sister Tawan because she's been helping me in the summertime, especially, and all throughout the year. We started mainly in the summertime I set a goal up for at least 2,000 bottles of water in the summertime that I wanted to give out because some of our homeless brothers and sisters, in D.C., they don't have water fountains. And some of the people in those hot days were so wicked, they wouldn't even allow homeless people to get a cup of water. And a brother that we know with kidneys, he died because he was dehydrated. He couldn't get any water. They wouldn't give him. He said, please, I'll drink it from the bathroom. So we tried in the summertime. We really push. We ride around. We give our bottled water.
It's beautiful.
So I just want to share that. But thank you.
Thank you, Sister Sudan. May Allah bless you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you all. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. Wow. All right, brothers and sisters, that was right there. That sister made it so easy for us to participate and get involved right where you are. So go ahead, Sister Sudan. All right, brothers and sisters, we're going to have the roundtable news of the week. Whatever you want to discuss, we'll open up the phone lines at 773-591-1690. Also, Brother Naba'a, Brother James G., we got to get some money in here because we got to keep this show going. We are committed to another third year, and we need your support. We need your financial support to help keep our show on the air on WVON. So go to our website, straightwords.com, straightwords.com. You can find out how you can make a monetary donation to our program, and you can text us right now. Right now, you can text Brother Naba'a at this number, 312-480-9775. That's 312-480-9775. Tell Brother Naba'a, I love this program. I want to keep y'all on the air, keep this show going, because the information that y'all brothers and sisters are giving is life-saving information. All right? And just like Brother Ishmael said, Savior's Day, saving the people from danger. And that's what we're doing, brothers and sisters. We are repenting because the kingdom of God is at hand. We can't afford not to keep this show going. And you, by what you hear, hopefully Allah will put that spirit of, hey, look, I got to help these brothers and sisters keep this information flowing through the radio in Chicago. So, again, that is straightwords.com, straightwords.com. We're going to be back. Don't y'all go nowhere. You're listening to Straight Words on WVON 1690. This is the Talk of Chicago.